Peace and Yah bless. Yah is the strong one. The strong one is Yah. He's a tree of life. He's a fountain of living waters. He's a spirit and creator of all things that live and breathe on this earth. Thank you to my listening audience. Thank you to every single one of you under the sound of my voice. Thank you for letting me guide your life, okay, through the glory of Yah. Because only by His glory can I give any sort of advice or counseling, okay, or be a guide, be a guiding light to the darkness of this world. And this world has a great many darknesses, you know what I mean? Anyway, so let's get started. This particular discourse, we're going to talk about reparations, slavery reparations, okay? Now, this was on Fox News. I didn't get to see this live, so I guess I'll just YouTube it and see what was said about it, okay? Because there's been a lot of, press about this lately as far as reparations for slavery, okay? And as you guys can see here, they've kind of drew up a number that they have, I guess, put forth about the amount of money they would like people who call themselves today African Americans, right? Eligible descendants, right? Okay. And how much it's going to cost, based on calculation, based on income, education, savings, and home ownership. Okay. You see at the bottom, stain of slavery. Okay. So that's in the price tag would cost them $14.7 trillion. Okay. And that's not that bad, okay? Well, is that close to the national deficit? Well, probably, but still not that bad of a thing, because at the end of the day, we're living in a digital era. We're living in a digital time period, okay? Where everything is based on credits and debits. So it's not a hard thing to make this happen, okay? Because they could just simply send out credit cards to everybody or have it deposited into your checking account or your savings account. They don't have to go to the printing press to print this up. So this is not an impossible thing for my people, for them to make this happen. For all the, I'm talking about top elites or who might be listening to this video, who might be listening to me right now while I'm speaking, okay? This is not far-fetched. I'd like to see this number increase. For me, the way I calculated it, for me, $755,000, okay, would be a fair amount. $350,000 I thought was a little bit low, okay? Whenever they want to run these things by our people, I should be involved in that process. Okay, why should I be involved in it? Because I speak for the people, okay? I speak for the tribe of Yehuda. I speak for the descendants, of slavery. So, I should be involved in that because, these people, they want to give you something less than what, to me, we should deserve. Now, should everybody be a millionaire? Well, probably. Our ancestors did a lot of work in America, building the White House and all kind of infrastructure and all those antebellum houses or whatever you want to call them, or call slavery houses that they still have in Georgia. Places like that. You still see them slave houses today. All right. So do we deserve it? I mean, because that's what, most people would say. Well, do we deserve it? Because you have people who read this book that, God sent you into slavery to teach you a lesson and whoop-de-wop and this and that, whoop-de-wop, right? And he did. Okay? But that doesn't mean the people don't deserve money and benefits from the work that our ancestors did. Okay? Over these 400 years of slavery. Okay? All right? And especially when they were in, had the chains on them, going from 1619 all the way up to 1865, when they claimed, that it was abolished. Right? But we know that's not the truth. But anyway, so do our people deserve this money? For me, in my opinion, I've had opinions in the past But in my opinion right now, our people do deserve the money. Because I've seen the list of reparations that they paid many other nations of people for way lesser things. But they gave them plenty of money and still paying money to them today. Okay? So black people, as we call ourselves today, right? Or as they call themselves, excuse me, so-called African-American eligible descendants, do they deserve this money? Yeah, and they should raise this price tag up a little bit. Okay? The price tag I came up with $755,000. Okay? So three quarters, right? Almost $1 million, right? Okay? And it's easy to do. And it's not a hard thing to do because, you once again, you have credit cards, you have, digital banking. Okay? The way of the world right now, digital banking. So that they don't got to go to fire up, the printing presses. They ain't got to go to the Federal Reserve. They ain't got to go to the IMF. They ain't got to go to the World Bank. Okay? They ain't got to go to the banks of China or anywhere else. They could just simply send out the money. Okay? Simple as that. And our people, you know how our habits are. We love to spend money. Even though we some of the brokest people in the world. Ain't that a crazy thing that happens with our people, black people? Okay, because we spend more money than any other race out here, out in these markets, on clothing and all kind of, shenanigans. And it's a fact. It's a documented fact. Go look it up yourself. Okay? Very important to understand that. All right? So most of this money, whatever they do give our people, man, it'll probably go right back into the American economy, most of it. So that would probably help boost the American economy. Okay? And with me, I want them to do this with speed. I don't want this to be a part of the next election in October. I want this done with speed for our people. Because, when we come out of here, we're coming out of here with a great portion. That's the book, right? Because you got to wonder, what is the Most High talking about when he talks about this, when our 400 years of captivity is over, that we were going to come out with a great portion, great substance? What is he talking about? Because we remember our ancestors came out. Okay? We remember that. And I'll go read that, okay? But let's fast forward to this captivity right here, right, that we're in now. That's come to an end, finally. After 400 years, right? All right, we served our sentence, to the Holy One of Israel. So all blacks, man, you all should be praying to God right now. Say, God, please allow us to go free, that we may go home to Israel and do thy will. Okay, that's what the Most High wants to know. Are y'all going to go back and do his will? Y'all going to keep walking contrary to his law, man? All right, because the 400 years is over, we can now officially go free. Okay, and not over to Africa. Because that's not our home country. Our home country is Israel, or what they call the state of Israel today, Jerusalem. Okay? And that's a fact. I've already shown you guys these things, okay? So let's go to Genesis chapter 15, right? Okay? Chapter number 15 of Genesis, where it talks about this 400-year prophecy, right? That was going to happen. Down to the T, verse number 13 and 14 of 15th chapter of Genesis. So open up your book. Told you guys, you're going to watch the video, open your book up. Okay? You can't learn as a student if your book ain't open. You can't just listen with your ears, man. Put your eyes on it. Okay? Now, verse number 13. And he said to Abram, know of a surety. See, here's the key words to it. Know of a surety. In other words, it's going to happen, right? That thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, right? North America, right? And shall serve them. And we have served them this long 400 years. You hear me? Okay? That we were going to serve them. Okay? Our captors, right? And they shall afflict them 400 years. Now, haven't they afflicted us? Transatlantic slave trade. You've seen all those photos of our enemies standing over black bodies, burning them up. That's what they call a barbecue, right? Or grilling, right? You guys have seen that, right? Okay? That's where that term barbecue comes from. After they kill the black man, they burn them up and do all kind of stuff like that. Yeah, man. All kind of heinous things. Hanging from trees. Sodomizing the men. Hanging from a tree with his pants hanging down and raping the black women. and literally cutting sometimes their offspring out of their pregnancy womb, taking the womb away, taking the child out the womb. Yeah, our people have been through all kind of atrocities, black people, man. Okay? And a lot of other peoples too, man. But mainly our people. That's why I say we will be afflicted. Okay? 400 exact years, 1619 to 2019. Okay? That's why this year 2020, we expect redemption from Yah. Okay? Now let's carry on with the prophecy, because it ain't done. Notice it says and. Okay, so plus, right? And. So this is going to happen. Know of a surety that we'll be a stranger in the land that's not ours, and we're going to serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. You hear that? Okay? 400 years that their enemies would afflict them, 400 years, and also that nation, the United States of America, right? Whom they shall serve, those 400 years, right? Will I judge. So he's going to judge them. Right? And afterward shall they come out with great substance. The key word is come out with great substance. Also, we're looking at judge and afterward. These two words are very important, because this is what throws a lot of people, because they think this is taking you over to Exodus, talking about the 430 years. 400 and 430 are two different numbers. You can't try to sensationalize that, because some people sensationalize that. Oh, well, the first 30 years they were serving Yah, then they stopped, and that's what triggered the 400 years. No, I asked Yah. I said, Yah, is that true? Yah said, no, it's not the truth. Two separate exoduses, okay? Two separate captivities, all right? All right, the 400 years is predicting the 400 years that started at 1619. Simple as that. Okay, this is not connected to those 430 years that our ancestors did. See the key word, that our ancestors did, right? Okay, in Egypt, the old Egypt. Okay, this is the Babylonian captivity being predicted here at the very beginning of this book in Genesis. Okay, this is the Babylonian, okay, in North America. All right, that we would serve them 400 years, okay, and then we would come out after Most High judge. Now, the key is judge. Judge doesn't mean necessarily that the Most High is going to unleash a nuclear war while we're here, and then we come out after that, because that's what throws most people in this prophecy. Okay, all right. It's just they're going to receive judgment. America has definitely received some judgments. Okay, look at that COVID-19 shutdown, and still shut down a lot of places, right? Okay. Was going to receive judgments just like the Most High did the first time in Exodus, right? In that particular captivity, he gave Pharaoh 10 judgments, and then we came out. Well, he's going to give what? The United States some judgment. Then after, we're going to come out, but we're going to come out with what? Great substance. Okay? All right? After we serve our 400 years of captivity. All right? That's how you know who Israel is, man. All right? You got people talking about they Israel. You can't be Israel. You ain't served nowhere underneath another nation for 400 years. Okay? Now that's a fact. But we go off facts. We don't go off feelings. We go off facts and history. Okay? We know Esau, the Jews, didn't serve in Nazi Germany no 400 years. That'd be the biggest lie ever told right there. Okay? So think about that for a minute. Okay, 400 years talking about us serving here in the United States, the great daughter of Babylon. And then we're going to come out with what? Great substance. And I believe that great substance is going to be these reparations that's owed to us, because we are the descendants of those slaves who did that work for this country. Okay? All right, now let's compare it to the old Exodus. Remember, the Most High does what? The book or time repeats itself. So it's just time repeating itself, okay? Go to Exodus chapter 12, okay? And you see the same exact thing happen, when our ancestors came out, underneath Moses, right? During the time we were in Egypt, okay? So what did they do? A little something different, right? And the children of Israel, right, did according, right, to the word of Moses, and they borrowed, right, okay, of the Egyptians, jewels and of silver and jewels of gold and raiment, okay? All right. And Yah gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, right? So that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. Okay, in other words, they took from them. Anything they needed that day, they took from them. Okay. Now this is back during the time of Pharaoh. I'm talking about our ancestors, way, way, way back. During this particular time of the very first Exodus with Moses that many of you probably have seen, or whatever, what they call the 10 Commandments, whatever the case is. So as you can see, the same thing already happened. Okay? So it's going to happen again. After our 400 years, though, we're going to do what? We're going to come out with great substance. Okay? As you guys seen over here in Genesis chapter number 15, that it's predicted it's going to happen after the 400 years ends, that the Most High is going to judge the daughter of Babylon, or judgments are certainly going to happen to the daughter of Babylon. It's going to cause the Exodus to be triggered, and it's going to be triggered, and we're going to go free. Okay? Simple as it. Simple as that. Okay? In that nation, okay, whom they serve, the Most High is going to judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. So $350,000 is a portion. However, I think it could be a greater portion. Okay? Do we deserve it? Of course we do. Okay? The reason we deserve it is because our ancestors helped build this mighty country called the United States. That's why we deserve it. Okay? Yes, we were put over here by God. Yes, we're put, into captivity by God. Okay? But, God doesn't make you work for free. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't make you work for free. Okay? So all that work that our ancestors, did deserve to be paid for. And we are going to be the recipients of that because we are still here today as descendants of our ancestors, descendants of slaves. So we deserve it. And guess what? See, if this had been brought up years back, it'd have been harder to do. Okay? Because they'd made excuses like, well, we got to go fire up the printing press and put the dollars in circulation and blah, 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 blah. They could have made excuses. But now we live in a digital world, man. All they got to do is cash app you. You know what I mean? They can cash app you, Western Union, Chime. I mean, there's all kinds of ways they can get the money to you digitally. Okay? Now, we ain't rocking with them very chips now. We ain't talking about that. we ain't talking about that. So don't use this as no selling tool to sell that. Because, that's not for righteous people to be worried about right now. Okay, we're talking about just credit cards, simple banking the way it is right now. Now, for those who already got it, well, then, hey, whatever, rock on. But I'm just saying we want to make it simple and easy to facilitate for people. Okay, we ain't got time for people to be getting medical procedures done on them, for this to happen. So don't base it on that, because I know how these elite be thinking. No, we're not going to base it on that. Let's just get something simple that we can get to the people the same way they done with these, these different things the government's, different stipends that the government's been giving out. Okay? All right? Even though we don't ever lean on Egypt for nothing. You got to be careful leaning on Egypt. Like the Most High said, that's like leaning on a sword. Pass through your hand, cut you, right? You don't got to be careful dealing with, Egypt. But we're going to come out with great substance. Okay? All right? So whatever the cash payment is, whatever it's supposed to be, we want it. But I would like to see this number be increased. Okay? So they're speaking to the wrong people. They need to be the founder of BET. They need to be speaking to Zechariah ben Israel. Okay? Because we got to go to this book and do it that way. Okay? According to the Bible. According to the book of remembrance, what they call the Old Testament. Okay? Because we're here to do what? In Isaiah chapter 60. What we're here to do? Proclaim liberty to the captives and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. To proclaim the acceptable year of Yah, the day of vengeance of our God, right? To comfort all that mourn. Okay? To proclaim liberty. You hear that? Liberty, freedom to the captives. You see that? All right? That's what we're all about. Now, let's go over here to Isaiah 60. Okay? Isaiah 60, go there in your book. Okay, verse number 8. See, whenever we come out this captivity, and I've read this to you guys before, but I'm reading to you again. Who are these that fly as a cloud, as doves to their windows? Okay, this is Isaiah seeing this vision. As I told you, when he saw this vision, he couldn't explain it. He's like, what are those flying machines? Because, back during this time, there wasn't no such thing as flight. Okay, hadn't been developed by, the Wright brothers yet, okay? All right, so I'm going to carry on. Who are these that fly as a cloud, as doves to their windows? Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish, Spain, right? The ships of Tarshish, they're going to come first, right? They're going to be there first. To bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, okay? Their silver and their gold with them. And I'll go to it again. Their silver and their gold with them. These reparations, okay? Because they're not going to give each person physical gold coming out of here. That's not going to happen, okay? That's not what's being talked about right here. Because people look at this different ways, okay? Because they look at it like we're bringing some money, back to bring it to build the temple. We couldn't build one wing of the temple if every one of us had $1 million. So anyway, this is not talking about that. It's talking about us. We're coming out with a great substance, a great portion. So you can connect this over to Genesis 15. That we're coming out with what? A great portion. Okay? So we're going to bring our silver and our gold with us unto the name of Yah and unto the Holy One of Israel, because he have glorified thee. All right? And verse number 10. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, right? And their kings shall minister unto thee, right? Okay? For my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor, the Most High is going to favor us again as his people. When we all turn and do right according to his will, he's going to favor us. Have I had mercy on thee? See, they're going to have mercy upon us, all right? All right? And then down the road, definitely the forces of the Gentiles, okay, is going to be brought to Jerusalem all the time. And their kings may be brought, okay? All the time. It's going to be people coming to Jerusalem, all kind of dignitaries, man. Rothschilds, hopefully the Queen, Elizabeth II, Meghan and Harry, William and Kate, on and on. All the glorious elites from Canada, from France, Germany, Russia, Africa, everywhere. All the kings going to be brought, man. Okay? And that's what this verse 5 is all about. Look right here. Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because of the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. It's talking about the money, right? Right? The forces of the Gentiles shall come to thee. You see right here, it shows you right there, the wealth. The wealth of the Gentiles is going to come unto us. I'm talking about all of our people. Okay? So I'm not surprised to see this right here. This really shouldn't surprise us, okay? It's already predicted in several places that it's going to happen. They're going to bring the forces of the Gentiles, okay? Not only through this right here, but also through them coming to Jerusalem, after that, right? Okay? Coming to Jerusalem and bringing their money to Jerusalem that we can build it up correctly, build it right. Okay? All right? So do we deserve these things? Do our people deserve it? Of course they do. Okay? Like I said earlier, we served our time, we served our sentence. We deserve all that Yah has prepared for our people to receive. Okay? Black Americans. Now, I'm going to show you guys a list. A history of reparations. Look at that. Look at that. Look it up on the internet, man. Now, look at all the reparations that have been paid to all kinds of other people by the United States. Okay, Austria. Look at all this. Holocaust survivors. They quick to give Esau some money. $25 million to Holocaust survivors. Look at that. Japanese Americans, $1.6 billion. And on and on and on. Look at it. $230 million from Canada. United States paying all these reparations. Look at this. To the Indians. And so forth. Look at this. Holocaust victim again. Look at that. But you get to African Americans, zero. No, they're gonna pay, man. Okay, they're gonna pay. They have to. Okay, if not, the Most High is gonna judge the daughter of Babylon. Okay, this is not a negotiation. They're going to do it. It's already predicted that they have to do it, or he's going to judge the daughter of Babylon. But we know it's going to happen because why? Because it's already booked that it's going to happen, right? Genesis chapter 15. Verses number 13 and 14. But go look this history of reparations up. They paid all these other people, to the Jews and to the Indians and anybody else. And probably a longer list than this, okay? They paid over all this time. But African descendants, I'm talking about black people, man, nothing, man. But we're the ones who steady built this country up. But we're going to get this money. It's already predicted we're going to get it. And we need it. And check it out. If you are a hotshot economist, I'd be like, hey, yeah, pay them the money. Why? Because most of them are not financially astute, and they're going to put it right back into the economy anyway. And that'll help boost the American economy, right? That'll help boost GDP and GNI, if you know what those things are, okay? And PPP, if you understand what that is. All right? All kind of financial terms. But anyway, go learn that on your own. All right? All right. And that's how we're going to be a comfort unto our sisters whenever we get home. I'm talking about Sodom and her daughters, okay? And our other sisters when we get back to Israel, predicted in Ezekiel chapter 16. So go to Ezekiel chapter 16. I know I'm jumping around a whole lot. Okay? But whenever we return to our former state, as verse 55 tells you about these three movements that return, when we returning with what? With some cash in our pocket. Okay? All right? All right? That we may be a comfort to our sisters. Okay? All right? So go look here and go read this. All right? When we receive them, okay? Then thou shalt remember thy ways and be ashamed when thou shalt receive thy sisters, thine elder and thy younger. And I will give them unto thee for daughters, okay? Not by thy covenant. Okay? So very, 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 very important that you guys understand that when we get home, we're going to receive the Palestinians. We're going to receive Sodom and her daughters, okay? All right? The Most High is going to drop us right in the midst of them, okay? That we may be a comfort unto them. Let's read about that, okay? Verse 53 of Ezekiel 16. Let's read, okay? When I shall bring again their captivity, now captivity means fortunes. When I shall bring again their fortunes and the fortunes of Sodom and her daughters, that's talking about Benjamin and his group, right? The Mola movement, right? And the captivity of Samaria, or the fortunes of Samaria, that's the PLO in the West Bank, right? Easy to figure that out. And her daughters, I will bring again the fortunes of thy captives in the midst of them. He's going to set us right in Jerusalem, right in the middle of them, right? Okay? Why? That thou mayest bear our own shame, right? And mayest be confounded in all that we have done. In other words, because we turned into idol worship and all that. We're going to be ashamed of all that stuff, man, when we get home. Worshiping Jesus, worshiping Muhammad, and Buddha, and Krishna, and the devil, or whatever the case is. Anyway, the key is that we're going to do what? In that thou art a comfort unto them. Okay? All right? Because we're going to get there and we're going to put this thing together, this whole entire nation that you guys have seen me present. And I'm going to present it again. Now, the definition of reparation. Okay? Look that up. Okay? Reparations says the making of amends for a wrong that one has done by paying money, right, to or otherwise helping those who have been wronged. Okay? That's a definition of a reparation. All right? So we look forward to this happening. Like I said, it's very easy to make it happen now, as opposed, to back in the day. They'd had to go fire up the printing presses and trying to, give you heavy cash. You couldn't come out of here with no heavy cash in your pocket, man. You know what I mean? It'd be too heavy. You know what I'm saying? It'd be too heavy to actually carry around. Okay? So you couldn't do that. So luckily they have, credits and debits today, debit cards. This is a digital world. We deal with digital financing, right? QR codes, barcodes, all kind of things, right? Okay, but the key is what? This money is owed to our descendants, therefore it's owed to us, and therefore it must be paid. And here's the key. Most people, they may not even ever exit the door of Babylon. So all it'll do, like I said, help prop up the American economy. Okay? If anything, it'll help prop that up because, black people, we love to spend money. We love to spend some money. Now, y'all know that already. Okay? All right? And we know these things are going to happen. But for us who are going home to Jerusalem, we'll just take our portions with us. and we'll begin to invest it over there, okay, and make our money grow like it's supposed to be doing, through investments or entrepreneurship, starting our own business and, and so forth as it shall go when we get to the house, all right, to Jerusalem, all right, one of these days. So we're waiting on this right here for what to happen, okay, for the top elite to do what? Oh, let him take hold of my strength that he may make peace with me. And the Most High said at the top of the triangle, he shall make peace with me. Okay? These top elite, they gon' make. Most High said he ain't gonna beg them, they gon' do it. Okay? Okay? He shall cause them of Jacob, that come of Jacob, to take root. Israel shall blossom and bud and fill the face of the world with fruit. Okay, that's Isaiah 27. You're gonna read it all day and night. Okay, top of the triangle. Okay, they're gonna cause us to go what? Back home. Because why? The British. Why should they be doing it? And a whole bunch of other people too, but why mainly them? Because they were the one who caused us to go into captivity, man. Who you think financed those ships? Whose ships do you think they were? Okay. Who was already there when we got there? The 13 colonies, right? In the United States, right? The Pilgrims and all that. That the British didn't want. They kicked out. Right? All the what they call degenerates. Kicked them up out of there, right? Sent them over to, that's what they call the 13 colonies that you read about in history, right? Anyway. But our people deserve this money. They deserve this 100%. And it's already predicted we're going to come out of here with these portions. And they need to pay it. And they need to pay it speedily, with speed, because like I said, it don't take a whole lot to get this going. It's just all digital payments these days. You know what I mean? They'll send the credit cards out or send them to debit accounts, savings accounts, whatever it is, checking accounts, simple stuff, man. Cash App, whatever payment devices you want to use, PayPal, Western Union, on and on and on and on and on. Easy stuff to make happen during this particular era. Now, had this been done back in the 70s, it couldn't have been done. You see what I'm saying? Almost impossible. Okay? But during this particular time, easy to make happen. Okay? I'll tell you guys is just be wise with your portion when you get it. Okay? For my Black Americans. Be wise. All right? Thank you guys for listening. Go do some research, guys. Thank you for listening. Peace. Y'all bless.